What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelvin Sowa and I'm on a mission to help new developers understand how to build cross-platform mobile applications with React Native. In the last episode, we set up our React Native projects, got our assets ready, and also defined our color palettes, basically laying the groundwork for this project. Now in this episode, we are diving into UI design best practices as we build out the login and then the sign up screen. We'll focus on writing clean and reusable code, especially for components like the custom text input that we'll be using, and also buttons, which we are going to be using across the app. You'll also see how to maintain consistency by using the color palette we set up earlier to keep everything visually cohesive. By the end of this video, we're going to have a beautiful looking login and sign up screen, which is going to be scalable across the project build. Now, if you just got here and you want to see the end product of what we are building, I have a demo video where I show exactly what we'll be building in this project. It should pop up at the top here in a moment. You can click on it to have a look at what we'll be building. Now, if that sounds interesting, do want to hit the like button. And if you're new here, do want to smash the subscribe button as well. And you can feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Now let's jump right into it. So this is what we have here now currently. And when you come here, we have this app folder. Now we're going to be building all of our screens inside the app folder with the Expo router. Now, if you are not really familiar about Expo router, I've done a video on that in my React Native with Expo series. I'm going to drop a link to that, or it should pop up at the top somewhere. If you need a refresher, you can go ahead and watch that video so that you understand how Expo router works, and then we can use that for the navigation. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to, first of all, we are going to delete this index file, right? We are going to be creating a new entry point. So as you can see now, the navigation doesn't know which file to display. That's fine. We're going to fix that. So what we are going to do now here is with this tag, all right, we are going to say, let's do this and then stack here like this. And we are going to pass in the screen options. Okay. Now with this screen options, we don't want to show the header for the screen. So we can simply say header shown here should be false, like this, right? All right, if I can type. Okay, so in this tag, this is where I'm going to be adding the screens. So the first screen that we're going to be adding is the login screen. So for the login screen, I'm going to come here and we're going to create a routes group, right? So a routes group is simply to create a new folder, and to create a routes group, the name needs to be inside a bracket. So I'm going to say login, and I'm simply going to add the index.tsx file like this. Okay, and let's add this snippet. We are going to, oh, the name is wrong, index. All right, now let's make this login screen like so. Okay, so now as you can see, since we added the index file inside this login group, you can see that it is now here, it's showing over here. All right, let me zoom it out a little bit so that it's more visible. Nice, good. So now that we have set up, created this login screen, we can go ahead and add it inside our layout so that we can manage the routes. Okay, so I'm going to say stack.screen like this. And we need to pass in some props. Let's add the name. The name here is going to be the login that we just created / index like this, basically. All right, so now let's go into the login screen and start building it out. Good, so instead of having this view here, we are going to use a safe area view like this from React Native. So let's make sure it's being imported so that everything that we add is going to be inside the safe area view. All right, now let's add some styles inline. Say style. We're going to say flex 1 so that it takes the whole screen. And then let's add a background color like this. Now the color is going to be from the colors that we set earlier, colors dot background color, like this. So if you are wondering where this colors is coming from, in the first video we created this constant colors file which contains all the colors that we'll be needing. Okay, so it's not reflecting here. Let's reload the app and we should see the changes. All right, so good. You are seeing that flex one background, color dot background. So the colors, okay, so the colors is being imported from a wrong place. Let me import the correct colors from constants, and then it's supposed to be background like so. All right, so as you can see, this is the background color that we are going to be using. So the next thing we want to do here is create a view, right? So we're going to use a view because we want to add in, make sure that the views, the inputs, fields, and everything are inside the center of the screen. So we're going to put it in a view here like this and add in a style. Now this style here, we're going to create a new style. This is styles.container like this. Place it in here like this. And let's apply the style. So I'm going to paste in the styles here, then I'm going to explain pretty basic stuff. So paste it in here like this. So as you can see, we are simply saying that for this view here, the container style, we are adding a flex one, which means it should take the whole screen, or it should spread across the screen, adding a padding of 14 pixels, align items to be center, justify content center. Now this is going to make sure that everything that we add moving forward is going to be inside the center. Now we're going to add a text in here like so. And the text, we are going to say ready to stream like this. And let's add in a style here like this. On the style, we're going to say styles.text. And let's go ahead and then copy this, come down here, and let's apply the styles for the text. Okay. Now in the text, we are simply going to say that the font weight should be 600 like this, a little bit bold, and the color is going to be from our colors.text like so. And the font size, let's add a font size of 26 like this. Good. So as you can see, that's what we are seeing over there. All right, now the next view that we want to work on is our input fields, right? So before we even create our input field, let's go ahead and then add in a wrapper here, right? So we're going to add in a wrapper here, and I'm going to see style to be styles.input wrapper like this. Input wrapper, we come down here and then we paste this in here like this. And with this input wrapper, pretty basic stuff, we are going to set the width to be 100% like this, and we add a margin vertical of 26. Okay, that's that. Now at this point, we are going to create our text input component. I'm going to call it app text input like this. Okay, right now it's going to error out because this file hasn't been created. So let's simply copy this name and then let's create the file. So over here, we are going to create a new folder, right? So we're going to create a new folder. Let's clear this one. Right click, new folder, and I'm going to call it components like this. And in here, I'm going to add in a new file, call it app text input.tsx. And let's do our favorite snippets like this. All right, so this is it. We're going to add in a pretty basic text input, okay? So first of all, we are going to add a wrapper for it. So let's add style, let's say style to be styles dot wrapper. It's going to be a wrapper around the actual text inputs that we're going to be using. Okay, so let's reload the terminal to make sure that we are seeing the updates live. Okay, I need to import it over here inside the login screen. We need to import it. Make sure it's imported so that the compiler will stop complaining. Okay. So over here, let's apply the style. I'm going to paste in the styling for the wrapper, then I'm going to explain the styles. Okay. Good. So over here, let's import the colors. Let's make sure the colors is being imported. All right. So we're simply saying that for this wrapper, we are giving it a height of 50 and a width of 100%. Let's reload this. And a width of 100%. And the border. So as you can see, this is what is appearing now. This is the wrapper that is appearing here now. We're giving it a border width of 1. You see, we have the border here. And then the border color of this dark border, that is from our colors. And you are giving a border radius of 8, which is why it has this rounded edges. And also this background color of this, which is being applied on the text input here. And we're adding a padding horizontal of 10 pixels, which means on the horizontal axis, we're adding these pixels of padding. Flex direction should be row. Aligning items to be center, justify content center. We want the text inputs to be in the center. And we're adding a margin bottom of 16. So basically, this is it. This is the styling for the wrapper. The next thing that we want to do is to add in the text input from React Native, right? So I'm going to say text input from React Native like so. And this is going to go ahead and import the text input for us. Now, right now, we're not seeing it there yet. We are going to apply some styles to it. So I'm going to say styles should be equal to styles dot, let's call it input, right? To style the text input itself. So let's come down here, place this here. And then the only thing we are going to be adding is flex 1. And we add a color, which color for the text to be colors dot text like this. So this is going to be the color for the text that we type in. So now if you come here, you should now be able to type into the text input, as you can see here. All right, good. So one thing that we would want to do is we want to make this text input very reusable, right? We want to make it very reusable. So what we can do about it is to take advantage of TypeScript and its types. I'm going to say React, the type of this component is going to be a React.functional component like this, React.fc. And we are going to use the text input props, okay? So that, let's import it from React Native so that we get all the props that comes along with text input, React Native text input. So we're simply going to pass it in here, spread the props over here like this. Okay, so we have the props here like this. And over here too, we can simply come inside the text input. You can simply come here and then spread the props in here like this. Props. That way we can have access to all the props that comes with this text input and then do whatever we want with it wherever we use the components. Okay, so we'll come back in here, have the text inputs. Now over here we can see placeholder and we can pass in any placeholder that we want. So here we can type in your email like this and you should see it down there. So any props at all that you know exists with text input from React Native, you can simply pass them here and then it's going to be applied there. That is because we've passed in the props over here inside our app text input over here already and we are passing it here. So any props at all you apply to this app text input is going to be applied here. All right, pretty cool stuff. So the next thing that we want to do is let's create a duplicate of this. And we are going to make the placeholder for this to be password. Okay. All right. Now we are going to make it a secure text entry, which means we want to cover up the text when we type. So the first one is for email. The second one here is for password. So when you type, obviously it's going to be covered, just like how we want it. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is to add a button. We want to add a button. Now we're going to create a custom button that we're going to be reusing. So I'm going to say app button like this, and it's going to error out as usual. But let's go ahead and then create that file here, app button dot tsx like this. See rnfes for our favorite snippet. Now we are going to be using touchable opacity for this button. So touchable opacity like this. Let's set the active opacity to be 0.6. I think that is fine. And then we are going to pass in some styles here like this. So for the style, we are going to call it styles. Let's just say styles.container, right, for now. Styles.container. And then we can go ahead. And then I'm going to paste in the styles for this button and explain it later just to save us some time. So this is it. We are saying that the height of the button should be 45, the width should be 140 pixels. We add a border radius of 10. We do align item center, justify content center. Margin right to be 14, which means we want the margin on the right side of it to be 14 wherever. Border width of 1, border color of this color. Okay, so let's restart this. So it's erroring out because we need to import the app button. So let me go ahead and then import it like this. So let's reload the app. All right, so you can see this is the button. It's appearing here, but not exactly how we'd want it to be. So let's continue building it out. Okay, so the next thing that we'd want to do now is to pass in some other components inside the touchable opacity. So we're going to see text. Let's add in a text, right? Let's pass in a text here like this. And the text, we are going to add in this tile. And it's going to be, or let's just make it an inline styling. Let's add a color. The color is going to be from our colors. Let's make sure I'm importing it from the right place, colors.text. And the next thing we want to say is, let's say the font weight should be 600. Let's add a margin right. Okay, what's going on? Okay, let's add a margin right of 6 like this. Okay, so that's the text. Now, in some cases, we need to have the, so let's say, for example, login, so as the text, okay. But in some cases, we need to have an icon next to the text, okay. So let's wrap this inside a view so that we can apply some styling just in case we want to add icons to it. So let me paste this in here and let me style this view here, right? So the only thing we're going to apply here is flex, say flex direction of row like this. And if we want to pass in an icon, we can simply add it in here and the icon is going to come next to it. So that is why you're applying this margin right of 6 here so that it creates some space between the title and then the icon. So let's add in some props here that we are going to make this, that's going to make this button more reusable. Okay, so the props that we're going to add, I'm going to say interface app button props like this. And then we pass in the properties that we would be needing. So first thing that we want to add is the title, which is going to be the title on the button, which is of type string. The next one is an icon. Now it's going to be optional because we wouldn't always have to pass in an icon. So it's going to be of type any. And then we're going to pass in a style prop here. Now this style prop is also going to be optional, just in case in somewhere we would want to apply some custom styles to it. So it's going to be from style prop from React Native, and the specific type being view style like this. Okay, and then finally we are going to add an on press event here like this, which is also going to be optional and is of type function, which returns void, which means it doesn't return anything. Okay, so with this type that we've created here, we can simply pass it over here like this, paste the type in here, and we can grab the items, the title, the icon, the on press, and then the style. So for this style, we are going to be adding this style to the main wrapper of the button, right? So instead of having just this style container, I'm going to put it inside an array like this, add in a comma, and then we pass in the style. So if in case you want to add more styles wherever we use the component, you can simply do that. And then over here, we pass in the icon like this. And then here, instead of login, we pass in the title. Okay, so let's do this. All right. So this is it. That is the button. Now we need to make use of the on-press event handler. So for this touchable opacity, for the on-press, we simply pass in the on-press prop. So we can pass in functions to the button. Okay, so when we come back here now inside our login screen, what we want to do now is to pass in the necessary props. So here we're going to say that for the login, we are going to pass in a title called, not login, title. For the title, we're going to pass in login like this. Okay, and then let's apply some custom styles to it. So for the style here, I'm going to see the background. I hope you know where this style is coming from. The background color here is going to be colors dot primary. If you are confused how we are able to pass in this style, remember we basically added this style prop here and then passed it in here. That way we can apply custom styles, right? All right, so let me reload this. Okay, so as you can see, the button is now appearing down there like that. Let's continue with applying some more styles to it. Let's give it a width of 100% like this. And let's change the height. Let's make the height of 50. Okay, so yes, basically this is the button for it. Okay, so one thing you can notice is that the items over here have been pushed way down. That's because we need to pass them inside this view, this container view. Okay, because this container view, if you look at the style, is flex one, which means it stretches the whole screen. So let's make sure that everything here is inside the view like this. Okay, so now everything is looking solid. At this point, we can go ahead and then add in some other components. So we are going to add in some text right below it. And the text is simply going to say, haven't signed up yet. And we're going to add in another text here like this, which we are going to say create account. Okay, now I'm going to see why we are doing this in a second. So let's apply the style to the whole. So I'm going to say styles dot, let's call it create account. Okay, and let's apply the styles here. Now this create account is going to be quite simple. We add a color. Now the color is going to be from our colors. So colors dot gray like this. And then let's add a font size of 14 and a margin top of 14 as well, like this. So as you can see, that's what we are having here. And for the create account text that we are seeing here, we're also going to apply some style to it. So say style, and then we are simply going to add a color. And for the color, it's going to be colors.primary, just to sort of separate it a little. And we are going to make it pressable because we'll be pressing on it to navigate to the create account screen. So that's the main goal of this text. All right. So basically that's this is the login screen. We've added the text inputs, created a custom text inputs, added a title and a button. So let's go ahead and then create the sign up screen. So with the sign up screen, over here inside the app folder, I'm going to create a new file, call it signup.ts6. Now the sign up screen is a lot similar to the login screen. So I'm simply going to copy everything here and just make some minor changes. Okay. So inside the sign up screen, I'm going to go ahead and then paste it here and change the names to, instead of login, say sign up screen. If you're wondering how I'm able to select these words all at once, simply press Command plus D. Make sure you select the text, press Command plus D, and then it's going to highlight those two texts where you can make the changes all at once. If you're on Windows, Control plus D, I think. So yeah, that's a good shortcut that you can increase your productivity. All right, so since we've added a new screen, let's go ahead and add it inside our layout. Let me duplicate this. If you're also wondering how I duplicate it, I just use Options, Shift, and then use the arrow keys, top or bottom, and it's going to duplicate it either at the top or at the bottom. So for this screen, it's going to be what the sign up screen. So I'm going to say sign dash up like this. Okay, so we'd want to navigate to the sign up screen, right? This is where we use the Expo router. So inside the login screen, I'm going to create a new variable here, say const router is equal to use router. And I'm going to import it from Expo router like this. I'm going to import it from Expo router like this. Okay. So with this router, now that we have it here, inside the create or this text where we have the create account text, I'm going to pass in an onPress event here, and I'm going to simply say router.push. So we push onto the stack, and we want to go to where the sign up screen. Okay, so now when I press on the create account, it should navigate me to the sign up screen. So this is it. This is the sign up screen. Okay, so I think for the sign up screen, let's go back to the sign up screen. I've pasted in the okay, so actually the previous build was running in the background, and I think it interfered with this simulator. So I've terminated it, and now we are back on course. Okay, so I pasted in the code for the login screen over to the sign up screen. So when you press the create account, it moves you to the sign up screen, but you are still seeing everything pertaining to the login. So we're going to make some changes here. You can see here we have ready to stream. Instead of that, we're going to replace this and say start streaming now, like this. So we have that, and then we are going to pass in some text. All right, we're going to pass in some text here, down there. We are going to see the text here. We're going to see join 1,000 of movie lovers, like this. Now let's apply some styles to it. I'm going to say style to be styles.sub. All right. Let's apply in the styles over here. Now for that, the styles is simply going to be font size of 12, and then the color is going to be from our colors dot create here, like so. Okay, so as you can see, that's what we have here. All right, now the next thing that we want to do, we already have the text inputs that we need. We've passed them over here like this. we copied them from the login screen. So just in case if you are confused, the login screen, we have the text input, which takes the email, and then another text input, which takes in the password, right? Now, we also need to, right below it, we also need to pass in some text, right? So we're going to pass in some text in here. And the text is going to use the same style that we have over here. So I'm going to paste it over here. And the text is going to be, I agree to the terms of service and privacy policy, like so. Okay, so that's what we are seeing here, like so. So basically, the next thing that we also want to do is to change the title from login to create account, like this. And over here is simply going to say already have an account, like this. And the text here, instead of create account, is going to be log in, like this. So yeah, pretty much that is what we would want to do inside the sign up screen. So we basically just copied over what we did inside the login screen and then made a few changes to make it suit the sign up screen. So the final thing that we want to do here is to add the router. Let's say const router is equal to use router, report it from Expo. And then what we want to do now is whenever this text is pressed on press, simply pass a router dot push, and it should push to the login screen, like so. Okay, all right, so let's reload the app. So on fresh start, we are on the login screen, and on the login screen, press on the create account, it takes you to the sign up screen, like so. So pretty basic stuff. All right, now there's one thing that I missed inside the login screen. So let me add that real quick. So let's go to the login screen, make sure that we are inside the login screen. Okay, so inside the login screen, what we want to add now is underneath this text inputs, these two text inputs that we have here, we're going to pass in a text, all right? So this text is simply going to say, forget password. And let's style it a little. Say styles dot forget. And I even forgot to add this, so we get the irony. All right, so let's pass it in here. And then let's pass in the styles. The styles is going to be font size of 12. And then the color is going to be colors, like this, dot gray. And let's say align self to be flex and to push it to the right. All right, so push it down to the right, like so. All right, so right now everything is looking pretty good. We're writing clean code and everything is looking solid. We have built out reusable components. We have made this app text input here very reusable. We've customized it enough that we can use it across all our app and pass in all the necessary props that you'd want to pass that is associated to text inputs. And we also have this app button here, which is fully customizable wherever you want to use it. Pass in a title, pass in a custom styles. And even you notice that we added this margin on the right. You can choose to remove that margin. You say margin, right? Say 0 to get rid of that margin. Now you see everything is lined up perfectly as we want it. And the padding as well inside the container, let's make it 16 because it looks, so to shift it away, a little bit away from the edges of the screen, let's do the same thing over here. Let's see, margin right of 0, and let's make the padding 16 on the main container. All right, so this is it. We have built out the login screen and also the sign up screens as well. Now, if this video has been very helpful and you have learned a lot from this video, do also hit the like button and subscribe to this channel as well if you haven't, because I'm going to be uploading videos consistently. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I post a new video, because like I said, this video is going to be a series and I'm going to be uploading these videos in bits for this particular project. Now, if you're excited and this sounds good, don't forget to hit the like button once again and then hit the subscribe button as well. It's going to really help the channel. Thank you for staying throughout this video and catch you in the next video.